On people, welcome back another JSTV back again and on the match review show between Newcastle and Liverpool after Newcastle's 2-1 defeat last night at St James's Park. I've got a Liverpool fan and a regular Newcastle fan. Good evening to you, Paul and Douglas.
Evening. Yeah. Thank you very much for having me.
No problem at all whatsoever. Before we go on to the show, make sure you hit the like and subscribe button as well. And super chats are open. And if you'd like to become a member, it's just 99p. And also, Tufts is one of my partners for the channel. And check out the new partnership. Tufts, get the retro shirts from tufts.com. 15% off your order with an exclusive discount code JSTV15. And these are the shirts you can buy, not just the shirts as well. You can also buy the accessories as well, hats and shorts and everything as well. And if you want anything there from the shops, you get 15% discount as well. Use JSTV15. And also Magpie Store. Go to magpiestore.co.uk. There you can get hoodies, t-shirts, and anything you want from there. It'll be JSTV10 for 10% as well. So do check it out, please. And we go for some comments as well. Thank you very much indeed from CFC. It was a good match for neutral. Yeah, good game for neutrals, not for me. Hi to Leslie. Hope everyone's been feeling better today. Some are, some aren't. Like and share. Thank you very much indeed. And super chats available bottom right, enjoy for 99p. And if you do become a member, you'll be entered a competition and you could have a prize of winning £50 worth of e-vouchers as well. Excuse me. Hi to DHTV. Still buzzing off yesterday. Great result, but at 11v11, we are still miles off it. Need to improve at the Villa. That'd be a tough game. Hi to, let's go. Hi to PG, the harsher. Hi to you, mate. And thought that was Doug's channel. Hello to you guys. Thank you for joining in as well. And like I said, Doug, you want to share the stream? That's no problem at all, mate. I appreciate that. Thank you very much indeed. Hi to Mr. Diddle. And we flew away. Yes, we did. Spencer, hi to you. Now, hi to you, mate. Hope you're great. And that's it again. Right, we're going to talk about yesterday's game. Newcastle 1, Liverpool 2 at St James's Park. And the atmosphere is brilliant, fantastic. Paul, I mean, you were a goal up, looked really good. Liverpool down to 10 men. You should have put the game out of sight. Eddie made 2 changes and got it so wrong. And I'm not going to cuss Eddie out at all whatsoever, but he'll learn from this.
Yeah, I mean, the only thing I'm thankful for is that I didn't watch it till this morning because I was busy in Wembley Stadium yesterday watching All In, which was unbelievable. Just a little promotion for that. Right near the front, it was unbelievable. 81,000 mental fans was really cool. I was getting some unfortunate updates while I was there. So, yeah, that wasn't the best. But, yeah, so I watched it this morning, the full game, because I recorded it. And, yeah, so it was an unchanged 11. Eddie obviously, seeing that we did well at Villa and did okay at City, but didn't really show enough for ourselves. And yeah, it was a funny one, wasn't it? We kind of huffed and puffed in the first couple of minutes. Kind of didn't get much going, and then we kind of come alive a little bit in like the 15-minute mark, I'd say, like when we started getting a bit more joy. And then yeah, like you say, like the whole controversy. Well, one of them, I guess, was the whole Trent thing with they're throwing the ball away and then the tackle. I know not many Newcastle fans are going to like me for saying this, but I watched it with the perspective, I guess, of it not being live. And I know that people are more hot and heavy when it's like live and there and then. But I actually thought Gordon tackled him. And I think, I know he threw the ball away. And I know what they're saying in the law of the game that is a yellow. But I think he was just more annoyed at the fact that he was the one who was fouled, so he's throwing the ball away. The second one is definitely yellow. It's bizarre. And the only thing I can think of is the only reason why the ref hasn't given the second is perhaps maybe he was told by VAR or whatever. I know they're not involved in yellow cards, but perhaps VAR told him that actually you're wrong about that. So whereas I know that challenge, and there was probably a lighter one for the top, was it Tottenham, where the chap got sent off. Was it Tottenham? I can't remember now. And there was a really soft sending off. No, it was Chelsea. Sorry, wasn't it? Was it Chelsea?
I think it might have been Chelsea. It might have been that.
Yeah. There was a really soft, like, second yellow. No, Arsenal. Sorry, I've named every.
Arsenal. Yeah. Tony Yasu.
Every wrong team. And it was. It was. And it was a worse yellow card than that. But again, I think the rest kind of really said, like, look, the last one wasn't yellow, so that one probably carries over. So we didn't really take advantage, but we didn't take advantage of it. We didn't ever got at Trent enough for me. And then the Van Dijk incident, again, like, he's in on goal. It's less than what got the guy sent off against Man United, much more, because that was actually quite harsh, I thought. The Van Dijk one was pretty simple, really. Isaac was in. But again, like, we were 1-0 up, but we didn't. What did we do with it, really? First half, we should have been outside, and then the second half, especially after the substitutions, we'll come on to, I'm sure, a bit later. It just seemed a bit like some of the matches we've had in, like when we were going through that period last season where we just couldn't seem to put the ball in the net. It seemed like we were a bit back to that Newcastle for a couple of minutes yesterday, sadly.
Yeah, which is not clinical enough. That's a problem. And got Nigel. How to Nigel. However, and coaches have to take a lot of the blame. Tonali and Gordon sub was ridiculous. Liverpool subs all contribute well. I think Jurgen Klopp absolutely won hands down over Eddie tactically as well. He taught Eddie a lesson on tactics as well late in the second half, Douglas.
Yeah, I've got to say, for the majority of that game, we played absolutely awful. 11 against 11, we looked really, really shaky. Like, defensively, we looked really, really poor. Started well, but obviously after the Trent decision, I agree with Paul. I think you look at it, Gordon actually fouls Trent. So the fact John Brooks missed that was very, 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 very bad. And as well, I don't think the Trent Alexander-Arnold sort of second yellow decision happens if John Brooks gives the free kick to Liverpool for obviously the Gordon foul on Trent. But I can understand why Trent was booked, because he was retaliating. He was like throwing the ball away. But what I've got to say is, I think when we look at it, Trent is probably one of his worst games in a Liverpool shirt. Like, after that sort of that booking, the push on Gordon, his game was all over the place. Completely messed up the touch for the first goal. I have no complaints about the red card. I know there'll be probably people in the chat saying that it probably wasn't a red, but for me, I think he's last man. I think he is going away from goal. But I think if that was Martinez at Anfield, as I said last night, I think Liverpool fans would be baying for a red card. So I've no complaints over that. And then basically one of the saves of the season from Almiron, from Alisson.
Yeah.
How he managed to get that shot onto the crossbar and then manages to claw away. I mean, we've been talking about like goalkeepers this weekend, obviously like Onana, Ramsdale. If we hadn't had Alisson, I tell you something, we'd be lower down the Alisson Becker for me has been absolutely sensational for Liverpool in the last couple of seasons, to say the very, very least. And then it was like a case of you sat back, you never really came on to us. I mean, obviously one of the efforts was obviously Almiron, where literally the ball comes to him, and on another day you would probably have said that. Almiron would probably smash that into the corner of the net, but wasn't to be. Smashes it high well over the bar as well. And then obviously the one off the post as well. But I have absolutely no idea why Eddie Howe decided to bring off Anthony Gordon, who for me was the best player on the pitch yesterday. He gave Trent so many problems. I don't understand why Isaac comes off either. And again, Tonali in the middle of the pitch. Once those three go off, it looked like you lost a bit of momentum. And as well, I think Harvey Barnes was caught in two minds as well when he was obviously going at Trent. And then obviously we bring the subs on with Elliott and Jota, and then we bring on Kwanzaa and Darwin Nunez, who for me has to start the next game.
I've got to actually kind of agree there. What you said, though, you're absolutely right. I mean, there's lots of things to pick up in that game as well. I mean, look, Arnold Trent should have been sent off, in my opinion, and Virgil van Dijk was right to be off as well for that professional foul. I mean, you mentioned Alisson as well. That keeper is just unbelievable. He is world class. So for me, he's in the top 5 best keepers in the world in my book. Because I tell you what, like you said, without him, you'd be probably like 8th or 9th without him. He saved your big in so many a time. Another great game we had yesterday. I mean, Paul, we got the goal. I mean, it was like a back pass. Andy Gordon doing really well to read it, and he's clean through 1-on-1, and he finishes well for his first goal for Newcastle United. I hope it's one of the many. And after that, we had a couple of chances as well. Joel Linton went close. Gordon again. Miggy, like Paul said, hit the post, saved it hands onto the post as well. We should have been out of sight against these. And the problem is, we still struggle to beat 10 men.
Yeah, and isn't it funny that all 3 goals came from a mistake? All 3 goals came from some type of error. You know, the Gordon goal was obviously from an error. You know, obviously I knew what happened, but it was interesting seeing him 1-on-1. And, you know, Gordon's had a really good pre-season. So I was thinking, like, if I was watching that live, I would have been, like, quite confident. But again, like, Alisson is a very good keeper. So, like, oh, this is a really nice 50-50 there. Just puts it underneath Alisson. So it's a really, you know, really good finish. And it meant quite a lot to him. You know, those Everton, you know, even though the Everton fans didn't treat him right, he's still an Evertonian at heart. So, you know, that meant quite a bit to him. And he had, I mean, I'm not saying I watch Everton every week or whatever, but I know he had some decent performances for Everton when he was playing there. I don't think I've seen a better Gordon performance than that, in my opinion. I know Eddie did give an update on why he brought him off. He said that he was feeling his calf, so I don't know whether it was just precaution, it's just bad timing. Same with Tonali. He said that Tonali was absolutely blowing and just like dead on his feet, so that's why he brought him off. And Isaac for Wilson is quite a usual one for us. It's not unusual for that to happen. Isaac, again, we need to work on that because we're not getting Isaac enough into the game at the moment. I don't know what's going on there. Just recently, that's kind of come up again when we're not getting him in enough. But yeah, it was, you know, it's a funny, like I say, it's a funny game, isn't it? Where, you know, we go 1-0 up, and like you said, John, Joe goes in straight to the keeper. Again, a thing we've had at Joe where his finishing isn't always the best, and again, it's just straight to the keeper. Almiron at times just really like frustrating at times. I mean, yeah, the save it. I mean, if that's not save of the season, then that's unbelievable. Like, what is going to beat that for save of the season? Because that is ridiculous. I mean, you could put, you know, who else would make, you know, maybe maybe a few keepers in the Premier League could pull that save off, but you know, that's unreal because that's just a, you know, most other days that's a goal, so it's 100%. Unbelievable. You know, then Almiron had a few that chance where I think it might have been second half. He kind of goes to control it, and he puts it into the car park. It's an unbelievably shocking finish.
Wow, it is.
It's like, wow. You know, he needs to. You know, I thought he kind of, you know, when he's on that really good run, he kind of got over those sort of brash moments of like just smacking it. And it just, I don't know what it is. I don't know whether it's just, you know, whether if he's full of confidence, I guess it's easier. But yeah, it's a really hard one because, again, you know, we're probably getting to Liverpool goals. But again, the difference is that you've got a striker, Nunez, who I think came on with quite a big chip on his shoulder anyway. I think he went on to the field with a bit of a point to prove. But I'll tell you what, you won't see two much better finishes than that by a striker because, especially the first one, I mean, unbelievably good. You know, you only get, you know, they say, you know, you only have those chances and maybe a tough game when you're 10 men down. And, you know, Liverpool are a team that take advantage of it. This is a team that came back against, you know, the impossible at Barcelona. They're not idiots. Like, I know people have been mad and annoyed and get upset, and I get it. I get people get angry. But again, it's about the Man City defeat. I know it's 10 men, but Liverpool still aren't slouches. Like, this is a team that have won the Champions League. They've won the league. Like, I think some fans, not just Newcastle fans, some fans forget some of these teams that we're playing. They just act like they're nothing, and we're just going to steamroll with them, which is not true.
No, exactly. I mean, all our fans going to hype us. This is our best chance to beat Liverpool, and it hasn't happened. We just cannot beat Liverpool at all whatsoever, and it may take a couple more years to do this as well, in my opinion. So we go for the comments as well. Hi to DH again. I thought Trent was lucky, but Virgil van Dijk was unlucky. That said, Trent's first yellow card was harsh. That's for throwing the ball away. And everyone, I got Nigel. Hi, Nigel. Premier League officials are a disgrace. Week after week, game after game, lads.
Yeah.
I kind of agree, Nigel. I kind of agree. And Spencer back you up as well. It's crazy that there have already been 9 reds in just 30 games. It seems like the Reds are handing out yellow cards this year. It's like candy. I totally agree
with that. Yeah,
totally agree, man.
Yeah.
100%. It's just a disgrace. I mean, I'll tell you what, the Premier League's is working overtime as well. Unbelievable. Paul said, big up to Paul, by the way. The ref spotted it all game. I can't agree. What's Forrest Gump's email password? One follows one.
Chris.
We got the quiz, by the way. Just keeping our seat warm.
The way they're going, then yeah, definitely.
They're banging trouble. They're banging trouble. They are
massive trouble.
Yeah.
Now we have to win at Anfield. Bring it on, Alan. Oh, well, we can't beat them with St James's. How we could do it at Anfield? I just can't see us beating Liverpool for
9 men.
That's the spirit, Alan. That's the spirit. We have to do that so it can happen. Hi to Jules. I hope you're good. And we're building a squad in order to use it. If we win 2 or 3, nobody says a dick about swords. That's in JB. That's very true. That is true. And this is all the best keeper in the world. Alisson's best keeper in the world. There's no doubt about it. He's well up there. He is well up there. I was in the weigh-in yesterday, the limbs. I said, 3 hour football. Hype to 3 I hope you're good. Even in order to go farther, Pep is apparently the best manager in world football. He leaves his best players on the pitch. We're not losing. Surely Gordon's our best player and the main danger. Keep him on the pitch. Exactly right. But at the end of the day, right, Eddie took him off. We know he's got a little bit of an injury. We don't know that. But the one thing I will say, I mean, got to be said, Doug, Pep, world's best manager. It's got to be right. And what he does, right, he experiences experimental teams as well. And then in the end, whoosh, they go for the kill.
Yeah, 100%. I think as well, this will be a bit of a learning curve for Eddie Howe. How to basically see out a game against 10 men. Because I think yesterday you had sort of two choices. You were sort of to go for the juggler and obviously get that second or third goal. Or obviously literally sit back and obviously see what happens. But I think Howe made the wrong subs and Klopp made the right subs in what was happening. I think as well, the sub of Harvey Elliott changed the game for me because I think we were a lot more composed in the middle of the park. Because you guys obviously had Tonali, you had Bruno, and obviously you had like Almiron and Gordon as well. I think we were a little bit too passive in the midfield. I think having Harvey Elliott coming on, I think kind of shored it up. Diogo Jota, I thought, had a very, very good game. He came on as well. And I'm actually going to give a wee special shout out to Joe Gomez. I thought he was very, very good yesterday. He's had a lot of criticism, and rightly so. He's not been great recently, Joe Gomez. But I've got to say, I thought yesterday, he dealt with Callum Wilson very well, and I thought he dealt with obviously Isaac very, very well when he came on as well. It's not easy playing with 10 men. As well, but the one person I feel sorry for is Wataru Endo, who is yet to basically end the Liverpool game with 11 men, because the Bournemouth game ended with 10 men, and then yesterday ended with 10 men. So I'm kind of hoping that the game against Villa, touch wood, that we literally end with 11 men. But no, I think, I thought Botman and Schär were very, very good at the back yesterday. I thought they were really, really good. I really hope that injury to Botman is not too serious Because I tell you something, you guys really need him. I think you need him and Shaw to be, fit going into the rest of the season, because I think that's your best centre-back partnership.
Great.
I don't think Dan Burn had a good game. I think you can obviously see like the second goal, he's the one that's like very, very out of position. And obviously he loses. He loses Nunez. So I suppose when obviously like Lewis Hall comes in, and obviously you've got Tino Livramento to come in as well. But I thought, as a whole, obviously Newcastle were by far the better team. It was just when I think the subs completely changed the game. But I said that yesterday, and I kept saying it as well. As long as the game is 1-0, you're always in with a chance of snatching a point, or obviously in our instance, obviously getting all three, which was unheard of when we did go down to 10 men after sort of 28 minutes. But that'll be a sore one to take, because you lost very narrowly to Manchester City. And look, I think as well that like the away games that we've had, Chelsea and Newcastle, to get 4 points from those two, everyone would have bit your hand off.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, you won the game because you were clinical in front of goal, and we wasn't clinical at all whatsoever. You mentioned as well about Botman and Shaw. We need to be defence as well, because those two really work well together. And Shaw is playing his best football of his career for me. Botman doing Botman things. He's a great defender. We need to get him fit as well. We need to see if he's okay. I don't know what the latest news is, but we certainly find out what's going to happen for Eddie on Friday. See if he's going to be fit enough or not. What's the
Keith Downey put out a couple of hours ago that luckily the scan was positive. It's not as bad as first thought. So not sure on time frame.
Good news.
No, nothing like a lengthy spell, which is thank God for that. Yeah, probably maybe like I'm guessing here. Keith didn't put like an amount of weeks, but maybe he misses like a week or something. But he said the scans were really positive, so maybe he just kind of like felt something, and you just don't know, so you don't take a risk. And then when they've done the scan, thankfully, he put out it was fairly positive. So hopefully it's just maybe something that keeps him out for like 1 or 2 games. And again, when you look at our next run of like 10-ish games, we've got every game's hard in the Premier League, but when you look at the next run of games we have, then they're all right. Like they're all right. Like I think this is where we can hopefully show a bit more of what we can normally do, because we got some of the teams that we should be doing more about, more too. The start was horrible. I mean, it's not the best of starts we had. Villa, and again, Villa are kind of showing what team they should have been. I think they had a very off day against us. They're starting to click a bit more. Man City. I mean, they're just mad. And Liverpool again, like it's weird. Like again, I love Newcastle fans. Obviously, I'm one, but I just feel that some of our fans forget some of these teams we're playing as if they're like nothing. It's weird. And I know everyone does it because you're angry and upset and you get mad. I get it, but some of the comments where they were like, I saw some like how out, what,
no, sorry.
We're going to talk about that. Yeah.
Sorry, I'm going to interject them there. The fact that people are actually calling for Eddie's head, especially what that man's done. Remember when you guys were, I think, 17th or 18th when he came in. The job that he has done is none other than miraculous. And to get you guys into the Champions League as well. Thursday cannot come quick enough for you guys, because you'll be very, very excited to see who you get in the Champions League draw. So yes, you've had 2 defeats in a row, but you've had a tough start to the season. You've had Villa, you've had Man City, and you've had us, and now you've got Brighton at the at the weekend as well. That's not an easy start. That's 4 out of the top 9 from last season. So it's a tough start.
If you would have said to someone that we drew at Villa, we drew at Man City, and we drew with Liverpool, I know it's not the best results on the planet ever, but who would have been annoyed at that, really? Do you know what I mean? Like in the first 3 games, who would have been annoyed at a draw with Man City, a draw with it. You know, I know people probably kick off at anything with us, but yeah, you know, if you offered us 3 points from those games where we took a draw, I don't think many people would be that upset about it. So perspective sometimes, and again, like, we're going to play better than that in other games. Liverpool are going to have better games as well, because I think we both kind of had an off day. That
Agree. Go for some more comments as well, guys. As well, I mean, I had a coffee said Pope was nervous, keep missing balls and corners. Yes, I've noticed that as well. Don't be Jordan Pickford, please, Nick. You're better than that, mate. Yeah, you're gonna come out for it, catch it, mate. Definitely a red card. Last man in on goal. Can't understand Stubbs. 2 best players for 65 minutes taken off. Miggy misses a lot of chances as well, but he does work hard. JK, hi to you, mate. I hope you're great. And also got Newcastle, and that reminds me of City when they bought some very solid Premier League players like Gibbon, Bellamy, Barry. Gareth Barry? He never used to play for us. De Jong, but you now need Aguero, Silva, and Torre to take the next step. You know what? I'd love to get players similar to that as well. Get them in. That'd be fantastic. That's in the years to come. Big up to Anfield, mate. I hope you're great. He was really passionate on me show the other night. Big up, Rods. Big up to you, my guy. And he must be happy now. Isak is missing Willock's runs. He was isolated. Yeah, I've noticed that. I mean, he was isolated again yesterday. I mean, I think that's 2 chances now, Paul. Yeah, no clear-cut chances as well.
No, and this is a thing we were again, it's this thing where he's an unbelievable player. But again, it's that whole thing of like, where is Isaac's best position? I think he would probably prefer to be on the wings, because that's where he can impact the game more in his perspective. When he's played like solely up front by himself, I don't remember many games from us where he's been like instrumental, being just up front alone. Him and Wilson were bunched up together, and that worked for a few games, which was nice to see. I think it's helpful to obviously have people change around and stuff, but Isaac just seems to be more effective when he's like on that wing, running at people and making things happen. But yeah, I just think that Eddie works for the team every day, so not me. So I'm not the manager. So obviously it obviously does work at times. I just think again, especially yesterday and other games in the past, it's just that final pass, again, like most teams struggle with that, don't they? Where you get into these positions and for whatever reason it just doesn't go in net. Man United having that same problem at the moment, where they're getting into okay positions and just not really making teams pay for putting them into those positions. I mean, Tottenham beat them the other day, but I was speaking with a Tottenham fan, and he said that on other days, Bruno Fernandes scores those chances, and it's a 2-2 draw, and it doesn't look as nice as a 2-0 win. So it is all about putting the ball in the back of net. We've got the players to do it. We just need to, but teams have figured this out as well. I saw a really interesting Twitter about Bruno, with what Klopp obviously did with Bruno, and he put the block on Bruno in particular because obviously anyone who's not got a brain cell knows that most of our play runs through him. And he literally just tried to suffocate him out of the game, because he knows if you stop him from playing, that stops us from getting forward as much. So it's something that Howe's got to work on. It's the same thing with Maximum, wasn't it? Where teams found out that we were going mainly through Maximum as soon as he's got the ball. 7 players around him, so they know our best player at the moment is Bruno Guimaraes. So teams know that. This is a thing with football, isn't it? Where it worked really well last season, but teams do sadly figure it out because they're not stupid.
You know what it is, right? I thought that myself as well, guys. I mean, he's being found out. I mean, the season's been really found out. You know what I mean? I mean, look, I love Bruno. I mean, he needs to find a way. Doug, I mean, he needs to find a way, because he's definitely been found out big time. Because last season, like Paul said, it was wonderful, and now he's being found out. And that is the thing. I mean, he's got to find a way. Or is he not happy playing the CDM? He'd rather play forward rather than the CDM.
Yeah, I think that's a very, very good point. I'm not so sure he's comfortable at CDM. Obviously, I think when you look at the options that were sort of potential for obviously CDM, like Edson Alvarez, I was amazed you guys weren't in for him, if I'm being honest, because you look what he's done like in a West Ham shirt for like the first game, and he was excellent against Brighton. So I think you need a CDM in there. You need like a CDM so that obviously Tonali and Bruno can obviously do their like midfield stuff from the midfield. But Bruno will get better. He will get better. I think it's taken a few players a little bit of time to sort of get up to speed with the season. Because I think people forget it's a bit of a shorter summer break this time. I think. And that's obviously a reason because obviously we had the World Cup in December. So
Yeah.
I think there's a few players that are actually still getting up to speed. But no, Bruno Guimaraes is still a fantastic player. And yesterday was just an off day for him, if I'm being honest. Because I think Paul's absolutely right. I think Klopp had McAllister and Szoboszlai sort of as that block to sort of block out Bruno, and then obviously we had Wataru Endo as well to sort of cover that. So I think we did a very good job yesterday in Bruno Guimaraes. But look, I think people asking for him to be dropped is ludicrous. I think there's maybe like a there's maybe like a sound for maybe Dan Burn potentially being dropped to the bench maybe, but obviously I think Lewis Hall would probably come in. I've seen people like asking for Almiron to be dropped. I don't think Almiron had a bad game yesterday. I think he was definitely one of the better ones on that right hand side. As well, he was unlucky with a shot off the post. That if that's anywhere else in the corner, then that's going in the back of the net. Alisson wouldn't have had a chance to save it. But no, I think there are a couple of players that are definitely coming back to full health. Bruno's definitely one of them. I would also say, when Willock comes back, I think Joe Willock is a big miss for you guys. I've seen a lot of sort of the play that he does, and I think Isaac and potentially Wilson, I think they're missing his sort of balls in behind.
Yeah. I could kind of agree. I mean, you need to get them back very soon as well. I have to agree. Well said, Doug. Thank you, man. Just going to read a few comments as well. The difference to Tonali coming off the long start, failed to control the mid in those final stages and paid the price of mistakes. Congrats to Liverpool for a proper smash and grab victory. I mean, Sean Longstaff for me was way off the pace anyway, I'm not going to lie. And he should never come on. Elliot Anderson should have stayed there. But for me, Elliot should have come on first before Sean. We need a centre back. And need another striker in case Isaac gets injured. JK, I have to agree. Thank you, Paul. Do hit that likes. And if you're new to the channel, like what you watch, please hit that subscribe button, please. I'm 15 away from 6,100. Please, thank you very much indeed. Thank you, JK. I was doubting Joe in the crowd, but he's proved me wrong. We have breaking news, guys, by the way. Paul in particular as well. Thank you, Toon Army. Craig Hope said Jamal Lascelles and his brother attacked a Newcastle City Centre bull bottle of vodka was thrown at him, brother, and left covered in blood. I tell you what, I hope that gets all that ASAP. That's
all over Twitter, so it's all
shocking. Absolutely shocking as well. I'm sorry. Shocking. Right, team red card next.
Oh, Fraser, don't jinx it. Don't jinx it.
Yeah, from distribution yesterday was all 50. He did get a kit out. Big up to Elevator and Escalator. Fan hi to you. Please subscribe to my channel, mate. Hi to you. Welcome to the show, mate. I hope you're absolutely great. You can never doubt Rizzy again.
Yeah.
Great news, but we'll like to see Tom come in. That's Les. International break means Botman won't miss any games. Or we've got the Brighton game as well. So, and I don't know if he's going to make that one as well. Probably had now to do most of the game, and I kind of agree, but got beat by 2 goals there. And got some more comments. So we'll talk about Miggy Mason run. We need to send back his speed. But who's out there? Yeah, Tassobas, one of them. Silvas, another one from Benfica. There's plenty out there, and it's just about the right money. I'm hoping this like Madison, he'll come straight back in this week. I've heard Liverpool supporters saying they want Klopp out. What's this about
mate.
Klopp out? It's ridiculous, isn't it? Honestly, man.
Unbelievable. I've seen that from
It's
Liverpool.
fickle fans. It's fickle fans, Paul, John, and everyone in the chat. It is absolutely fickle fans.
Absolutely unbelievable, man.
That's ridiculous. Absolutely ridiculous. Like, people have short memories what Klopp's done at Liverpool. It's the same with you guys, like Eddie Howe. It's like you'll get fickle football fans everywhere you go. Everywhere you go. Once you've had like a really bad run, people will start going for the manager's head. It's ludicrous.
Know what it is, right? I mean, I've got people ask people a question now, right? If everyone's Eddie Howe out, can someone tell us who you want to take his place? Because I can't think of no one at all in a minute. There's no one out there. There's no one out there to take his place. Yeah? James Simeone, tell me yes. Steve, nah. Crazy, Steve Bruce. I'd say Fiona Bruce, to be fair. But Eddie Howe is our manager. And if you don't like it, then we've got a problem here. In regards to the subs, Liverpool down to 10, go for the juggler second half. Wilson on, Isa left and move Gordon to the right, leave Tonali on. Jackie, by the way, me and Jackie did a fan cam tonight for about 15 minutes. We'll be dropping in tomorrow 12:30 on YouTube. She's had to say about Newcastle United's defeat against Liverpool, and she is absolutely right in her assessment. Big up Jackie from St. Helens. We've all got to about the results. Was coming out to say Eddie Howe out is out there. When they need a reality check, when we start getting results, these so-called fans will be sucking up. I tell you what, right? Well said, JK. Well said. Because I tell you something now. I mean, whoever wants Eddie out, shame on you. And yeah, I've heard that coffee as well. That ain't good at all. It's all over on Twitter as well. Thank you for that, mate. How not as their part-time football supporter? Exactly. I've been appalled by the attitude of some of our fans and social media accounts over the past 24 hours. This is football. Shite happens. But our next game is always around the corner. Exactly. We've got to move. We move. I think Newcastle needs to upgrade on Almiron and Joe Linton. Joe Linton, I disagree with. Miggy, I love him. But Paul, do you think Nigel is right?
Almiron, I don't know where to start with this lad. I love him and hate him at times. I think every football team has this player where you're like, he does so much work. He does all this. He cares, but he doesn't have to do stuff that makes your blood boil. And you think, oh my God, Almiron, what are you doing? Like I said, he's in the calmer moments he needs to have. That's when he's ballooning the ball into the car park, or he'll lose the ball at a frustrating time. He'll start a charge and it's good work, and then he loses the ball silly, or he kind of runs around a bit headless at times, yes. But again, before you start getting onto him, he runs the whole bloody game. I tell you what, he does not stop. He is one of the hardest working players in the league. And a lot of managers, I've seen them talk about Almiron, say like that, he's literally ran the whole game and like stopped us from doing stuff. So, there's give and take to it. It is frustrating. I think he needs to work on his finishing, and he needs to work on his left foot again. Like this is the only thing that frustrates us as Newcastle fans. And again, like football players aren't stupid. They know that he favours his right. And again, like the main tactic from the manager and everyone else will be, play Almiron onto his left and he won't do anything against you. And I think that's one of the things that frustrates us as supporters, that defenders know this about him in particular. And that's what they do. They show him onto his left and they know that he just struggles to do anything with it. And that's something that on his own, we can't do anything about it. He has to improve that himself. So it's one of those where I'd be gutted if he went, because I love him. He loves Newcastle, cares about us as a team, cares about the area. He does work hard, but it is frustrating. But again, you got to be careful, because you get rid of him, who do you get in? And it's like, do you want mercenaries in the squad just because they're a better player, but then they cause unrest to the team? This is the whole balance of the game, isn't it? Where you've been off Almiron, who's probably a positive influence on the dressing room. Maybe get someone in with a bit more technical ability, perhaps, but then they unnerved the dressing room and the ethos of what Eddie's brought in. So it's one of those you got to get right, because he's not the worst player on the planet. I think he would probably start for most of the teams in the Premier League, apart from maybe the top 4. I think he starts for most other teams. He starts for, he starts for West Ham. He starts for Brighton. He starts for, anyone in that sort of area. Do you know what I mean? Like, not a lot of teams would want him if I wouldn't want to get rid of him at the end of the day. So
definitely not. Definitely,
I like
not. Yeah, definitely. You're right. Absolutely right. I've got nothing else to add on that one there. So let's go to the comments to talk about Liverpool's equalising goal. Massive thanks to all. Thank you, Jules, for that as well. Thanks for the chat as well. Appreciate your support tonight. And big up Steve. Hi to you, mate. Liverpool fan. Even out on the captain Van Dijk, we have Kranse, Endo, and Betic, all versatile for the centre back as well. Thank you, JK, for the kind words there. Those BC says Klopp out must really have little to no football knowledge. That's an elevator. We need a DM and a centre back more now or before the window closes. And more comments as well. For me, Bruno's an attacking mid, not a DM. Absolutely, Alan. Absolutely right. I don't think he's happy.
Yeah, I agree with that.
I really don't think he's happy there. I mean, if any change to a 4-2-3-1, I have Joe Linton, right, and Tonali in the holding role. That might just work. That may just work. And Amiron needs to perform better next game. I really want him to do it as well. I want him to get a 9 out of 10. I think Tonali can play DM. He can play DM as well. And Premier League refs out of the last few games, less against Hughes, Manchester United, Manchester City benefited from VAR. We're not VAR pool, that's than Steve. I get that. And Bruno had a good game, 65 million. Don't know about doing a good job. All I say, we take our chances. You get now. You're not getting anything from the game. Alan, you're correct, mate. Can Liverpool challenge after that win? Do you think so, Doug?
I mean, it's going to be very, very tricky, especially with the Europa League. But I've actually seen a lot of people say that Liverpool could potentially be Man City's closest challengers this season. And I mean, I think if we get a couple more in, then I'd probably would say yes. But at this moment in time, I think top 4 or potentially like 5th place, I think would be the main sort of option or the main sort of expectations, I would say. But I think with a win like that yesterday, the fact that we were with 10 men for about 60 plus minutes yesterday, the fact that we managed to still go on and win the game, it just goes to show that you should never write Liverpool off in a game. And I think as well, it was quite funny because Gary Neville, I think, was urging Newcastle to sort of finish the job because obviously if you listen to his podcast earlier, he was literally waiting for basically the full-time whistle so they could basically get away very quickly, so they didn't have to stop any service stations where the Liverpool fans would stay. But for me, obviously, the one thing I would like to do is obviously I think we need to go far in the Europa League because it's another gateway into the Champions League. So I would focus on the league. I would definitely focus on the Europa League. But to say would we challenge, it's debatable at the moment. But if we beat Aston Villa on Sunday, that's 10 points from 12, and that's a much better start than last season.
Yeah. Absolutely right. I mean, if you go for the Europa League, you go for the top 4, top 5, and that'll get us to the Champions League. But you're right. But going back to what you said as well, I mean, Villa's going to be a tough game. Is that Anfield or is that Villa Park?
Yeah, Anfield.
It's at Anfield, yeah.
Oh, that'd be a tough game. That'd be a really tough game. And Jules as well. Hi to Jules. So refreshed should have an actual debate about the match that is respectful. No need for name calling, etc. Massive thanks to Doug. Speaks so well about Newcastle United too. Thank you, Jules. And you know
Pleasure,
what?
Jules.
Doug's been absolutely fantastic, and I can't add any more than that. Who would you drop for Willock? For me, I mean, it's a hard one, isn't it? He's got to play midfield 3. Who do we drop though? Joel Linton's playing outstanding. Tonali's been outstanding. Bruno has been as good and has been, but you can't drop him. I think the midfield's going to be a problem, man.
Well, and this is what we've been saying for a long time, though. But isn't it nice to have challenge? Nice to have challenge places where we're not. Again, like me and you, John, we've been there where we've had a game where we've been losing 1-0, for example, against people like Norwich. No offense, Norwich or whatever. Losing against teams like that where we should have been doing better under more, negative management. But again, we were 1-0 down or whatever. We needed a goal, and then we're looking at our bench. It's like, oh my God, who have we got to bring on? It's like we've got no one to bring on. We've got about 5 defenders and a goalkeeper, and none of them are going to do anything. But all I say that we had that one season where I think for the first 10 games, the only players that had scored goals for us were our defence. I think Lascelles was our top scorer. So we had that brilliant season. But that
actually reminds me of something, Paul, because when we were on a really bad run through, I think, December, Wout Wees scored 2 own goals for Liverpool. And he, I think, was the top scorer throughout January, because we only scored, I think, 1 or 2 goals in January. So actually, when you see the top scorers for Liverpool, Wout Wees was actually top scorer for January with 2 own goals.
That's a record, that.
It is.
Man. That's what's nice. We need. Any top team has that competition where if you've had a bad game. No offense, I'm not saying he has, but I'll pick on Tonali. Let's say Tonali has a poor game, for example. You're dropped. You drop because you've got Willock waiting, or vice versa. Willock has a couple of games that aren't the best. You got someone to come in that pushes people to be better. This is what the top teams have. You look at Liverpool where, if Salah isn't having the best game on the planet or whatever, you've got people like Nunez waiting to come in, Gakpo, players that can take your place and potentially score a couple of goals and then keep you on the, Salah might be going. I'm not sure what's going on with all that, but you have genuine world-class players that can take your place, and it should hopefully make you want to play the best you can. So as much as it's for us as fans, it's like, what on earth does Eddie do? It's still that's a cool thing to have, where if you are dropping Joe or whatever, you're dropping, dare I say it, Bruno, it's not a bad replacement to have Joe Willock in there, because he's, on his day, he can be unplayable. He can do some really unbelievable stuff. So again, I'm never going to moan about having players that can come on and be really good players. It's better than the days when we were like, well, Ryan Fraser could come on and change the game for us, maybe.
Yeah. Totally agree there.
I'll be honest. I know I am Scottish. I can't really say a bad thing to say about Ryan Fraser, but he wasn't. He hasn't been great. I think really. I've actually never seen a player such as him or sort of Dele Alli, who's like Cruz, have completely gone downhill completely. Obviously, I wish Fraser well at Southampton. I think he will do sort of well at Southampton. But I don't think he's got a future at Newcastle. I think he's one of those ones where I think Eddie Howe brought him in sort of for sort of sentimentality, sort of sentimental reasons, especially because he had him at Bournemouth, didn't he? He had him at Bournemouth, so it was a good move at the time. But again, it's just not one of those that's worked out. But obviously, good luck to him at Southampton. But yeah, I'll never have a bad thing to say about Ryan Fraser because he's Scottish.
Yeah, fair enough. But I wish him well at Southampton as well. But what can I say? He needed to be away. Saves off the wage bill. So we'll go for his comments. Past our fan base has been embarrassed the last 2 weeks, being like children scapegoating individuals. Yeah, that needs to stop on social media. Absolutely needs to stop. Dude, heard it on TalkSport. It's BBC Newcastle, by the way. Been there 4 times. Your channel's growing. Good luck, man. Thank you very much indeed. Steve is not slated Eddie, but he's got it wrong yesterday with subs. We've got one here from and we've got one from Matty. Big up Matty, by the way. Hope you're good, mate. Love to see you again. And I'm here on favours is right. You can see what I mean. I can see exactly what you mean. Can we send Amir on to Sunderland? No chance. No way. David said they're not. They never improve. Also thinks some supporters need to give their head a shake. Lost Liverpool twice, Man City, but still finished fourth. Get Brighton out of the way and let's see because fixtures are available. You're absolutely right, Jackie. Again, you're so right. The equalising goal, right? I mean, Stone Bomber knew nothing about it when the ball came off him, but what it is, at the end of the day, Paul. I mean, our defense wasn't quick enough, and Nunez got there first, and what a finish!
It was just—it's one of those balls, isn't it, where that bounce, if it's in Botman's favour, he clears it with ease. It's just so unlucky, isn't it? It's just so unlucky. It's a bit like the was it Rashford who scored when it kind of scuffed off Botman against Man United. I can't remember when it was, but yeah, they kind of scored via Botman, and it was just you can't do anything about it. But yeah, the bounce just comes off bad. Nunez is in, no problem. Like he's way on it. But like we said, he's still got a lot to do because I reckon a lot of strikers that goes over the bar, goes past the post or whatever, because he takes that and it's world class. It's unbelievable. They always say that the best teams take their chances, and can't be fair. He absolutely buries it. It's an unbelievable finish. So what can you say? Nothing. Can't moan. It's annoying because we should have put ours away. But if I bet Eddie does this. I'm guessing, but I bet Eddie will say that's how you finish, guys. That's what we've got to be doing. For one-on-one with Alisson, he's a good keeper, but we got to give him no chance. You put the ball in the net. Simple as that.
Yeah, can I just say congratulations to Elliot Anderson. Thoroughly deserved Scotland call.
Yeah.
Absolutely made up for it. I hope he plays in the game against. I hope he plays in the games against. Obviously England and also Cyprus. I think it's great to see, and thoroughly deserved.
Yeah. Thank you very much for that, man. Elliot Anderson has got his first in the Scottish squad as well. So he's been playing well, to be fair, and I wish him well for his Scotland career. And Doug will be happy with that as well. Don't often listen to it on lives, but we need to clarify that Miggy has no left foot comment or won't sleep tonight. This is the thing, right? I mean, Miggy's left foot, we know that, but he hasn't got it right. But it is what you see, Miggy's what you get. And Miggy has the right foot, just decides to use it. Don't write Newcastle off top 4-6 yet, Alan. I never do, mate. I think we're
absolutely
very, very close this season. Phil's on form at the minute, but I honestly believe we'll beat them. And that is elevator as well. And go to more. Hi to Philip as well. Yeah, see that right. I expect Liverpool to see too many soft chances. They can't bank up 10 men style every week. 11v11, they will go under, but they do have depth of quality going forward. And I'm worried it was an error because the next comment was defenders knows how to get him on his left. I'm not often speechless. That is again from Matthew.
Well, it could be worse. It could be worse. You could potentially have Miguel Almiron, who can actually score goals with his left foot, can cut in on his right, or you can have Anthony, who literally is one of the most one-sided players one-footed players I think I've ever seen. Every single time, he wants to cut in on his left. Doesn't want to cross with his right, always want to cut on his left, and it's easy for defenders to basically mark him.
100%, man. But at the end of the day, again, Doug is right. I mean, cutting him else out on that one as well. But the thing is, right, I mean, he scored in a 90-odd minute as well. I mean, that comes from Bruno. Bruno made a mistake or gave the ball away. And then Mo Salah played the ball over the top to Nunez, clean through, one-on-one, and he puts it in the back of the net. Paul, what a finish.
Yeah.
Sorry.
Go on.
No, sorry. I was literally just about to say, those two finishes from Nunez reminded me of Fernando Torres-esque finishes. just the way sort of he sort of turns his like body movement, and like as the ball sort of comes towards him, knows where the goal is, knows where the goal is, and the finish was absolutely fantastic. His first one was really, really good, but the second one's even better because you've got like a running Nick Pope at you, and he's managed to sort of clip it into the end of the corner. It was just fantastic, and I really, really now hope that this is the sort of the turning career of his Liverpool, the turning point of his Liverpool career, because a lot of people have criticised him, and probably rightly so, because of the money we spent for him. But that's now 17 goals that he scored for Liverpool, and he seems to have a good record against you guys. It's quite weird. That's like 3 goals now he scored against Newcastle in 2 games.
Crazy, man. Absolutely crazy, isn't it? That's why he needs to be dropped when he plays on December the 30th.
You said it in the preview that he scored. I said that I wonder whether he'd start, but he just seems to be one of those players that scores against us.
Nice. Hello, Matthew.
Matthew, that's your
it's been a good week. It's been a good weekend, Matthew. Yeah, Livingston beating Hibs and Liverpool beat Newcastle.
Wow. Yeah, with that thing from Bruno, it was interesting, wasn't it? Where he had a simple pass on, and for some reason, I don't know whether he's just trying to be a bit too clever or whatever. But he's almost trying to put the ball around the Liverpool player. It seemed like with the outside of his foot. Whether he's just trying to be too clever for his own good, or maybe because I know he's a great player, but he did have a simple pass on, and then like we said, it just causes that little, again, like any little mistake against good players will punish you, and it's something where Thursday is going to be a great day for us, and it's going to be exciting to see who we draw and who we get and what's going to lead to it. But again, like playing Champions League football and stuff again, we're going to be playing teams that will, that one mistake can lead to, devastating finishes like that, because other teams have great players like Liverpool. Harry Kane now with Bayern Munich, if you give chances that to people like Harry Kane or whatever, 9 times out of 10 they're going to finish it because they're world-class players. So something to ponder on. We're still relatively young to the Champions, especially this team. It's a whole new experience for them, and hopefully it kind of seasons them a bit. These type of defeats normally, a lot of managers say it, and I know it's a bit of a cliche, but it is normally true that you normally learn more from your team from a defeat than normally from a win, because you do see some of the things that have come in. And again, like I said, I wonder whether it's a bit, not saying exactly the same because we did score, but at times we just looked a bit like when we did in that little stint we had last season, where we just, the last pass and wasn't really coming off, and we were missing chances we were scoring early in the season. And I don't know, I think like a few people were saying it seemed a bit nervous from us, like we're saying, Pope going for big things where he was missing it. And I think we kind of got into the mindset where we were like, let's just keep this 1-0 and just get it over the line. And I think we kind of made ourselves a bit too quite nervous with that, and just try to keep the game, just kind of win it through that. Mm-hmm. So it'll be a tough one to take. They'll be feeling it just like the Newcastle fans. They won't be happy. Trips wanted to get off that pitch ASAP. When I saw that, where they obviously did their claps to the fans, which is great, but you could tell that they just wanted to be off the pitch because they weren't happy about it. So it's one of those where they will learn from it, but one day there'll be that famous hey, we actually did something against Liverpool.
Yeah. Absolutely right. Good point. Fair point. Is any too bit unpredictable? Well, that's a hard one, isn't it? I mean, I still think he's doing great, but I mean, a lot of people need to change his tactics up as well. And I hope he succeeds. I really want Eddie to succeed in that one as well. But a lot of people saying that he's been found out. But we'll see what happens to it. But he's doing good. He's doing fine. Congratulations to your wife, Doug, on passing the driving test.
Yeah, thank you. Yeah,
Nigel.
it's
Elevator, Philip.
not bad. 8 months pregnant, I've got to say. But no, absolutely made up for her as well. But yeah, obviously, past the driving test is the sort of the first one out of the way. Now it's just waiting for baby to arrive.
Wow. Wow.
No,
Congratulations.
I was actually just going to ask you guys. Is there anyone who you're like wanting in your Champions League group on Thursday?
We're going to do a show on Thursday night. We're doing a show Thursday night at 9 o'clock. For me, I mean, I tell you, I want an easy one. Don't people say I want to take a tough one? I want to take a tough one, yeah. But it's only about getting an easier draw, really. I'll take an easier draw for me. I mean, got Feyenoord. Group B is interesting. Got big clubs in Group B, by the way. I can't lie. I mean, you got Real Madrid's in Group B, PSG's in Group A. Oh man, I'll take Dortmund and Feyenoord, and in Group 3, I'd take Red Star Belgrade as well.
Oof, yeah. The only thing I'll say about Red Star Belgrade, it would be quite an early kickoff because they do like their early kickoffs over there, and especially Serbia can be a very, very hostile atmosphere. But I'll just say this, just this very, very quickly. I think whoever you get at St James's Park, you'll fancy your chances. St James's Park under the lights is going to be very, very special.
100%. I was just going to say that as well. And we're going to be so hard to beat as well. So they're not going to rush just coming to our place. But it's going to be so special. And you just can't beat it. You're right. We need to get real. The last 10 minutes was 101 shots. Freak show. It's great when it goes for you and sucks when it goes against. We move on, JB. Thank you. Well said. We should be beating 10 men at no matter what the opposition are feeling. Alison Ronald. So see this night's ahead for good. Congrats to you and your wifey.
Thank you.
Thank you, Les, and hit those likes. You want little Traveller's Post, lads. That's amazing.
Yeah, exactly. I agree about that.
Imagine Madrid against Newcastle. That'd be fantastic. Thank you all mods. What Doug's thoughts on Scottish football at the minute? Hibs already out against Villa, lost a manager. Celtic look poor with Rodgers, and Rangers was likely to go out to PSV.
Yeah, I mean, John, you're obviously, I know that John's a Celtic supporter, so I know that you'll be very, very disappointed with the draw against St Johnstone. Obviously, the Old Firm coming up as well. I wouldn't say Rangers are out against PSV yet. I think they've got a chance to go through. I think Aberdeen have got a chance to obviously go through as well. But yeah, it's not at the quality that it has been. Like I remember like in the early sort of noughties, like everyone was sort of wanting to come to Scotland to like come to Rangers or Celtic or even like Hibs and Hearts. But at this moment in time, it is very, very difficult, and especially if Rangers were to get through, it'd be very, very good for the coefficient. If Aberdeen get through, it'd be very, very good with the coefficient. Yeah, Hibs are out against Aston Villa anyway, because I think they got rid of Lee. They sacked Lee Johnson after the game against Livingston, where they lost 3-2. So it just goes to show that it is a very, very tricky league. But yes, the quality isn't great. But then again, I think a lot has to be done about Scottish football, especially the TV rights, because I don't know if you'll agree with this, John, but I don't think Sky are promoting our game very, very well.
Definitely not. It's ridiculous, isn't it? I mean, I think they've got to do better as well. Need to get more Scottish football on Sky as well, especially with big games as well. They need the money as well. So does little clubs as well. They need the money as well. You know what I mean? But all they care about now is our league. It's as simple as that. And
the only Scottish game they care about is when it's Celtic Rangers. That's the only. Whenever I'm watching like. Let's say, Man United versus Liverpool is like the 4:30 kickoff. And let's say next weekend is the Rangers Celtic game or whatever. That's all over their program. It's like, hey, next weekend it's Rangers Celtic or whatever. But if Celtic are playing Hearts, for example, you probably mention it like once now and again when they have those little things at the bottom and they're like, oh, by the way, on Sky Sports Football, Celtic are playing, some team who cares about them. They don't make a big deal of anything else today. It's just hey, it's the Old Firm derby. Let's watch that.
That's actually Sunday at 12 o'clock as well. So again, that's on Sky as well. So I know that John will be hoping Celtic win that.
I hope so. I actually just wanted to ask, in a minute.
Yeah, I just wanted to ask you, what do you think about Rodgers back at Celtic?
For me personally, I wouldn't have him back, but he's the only one available, so you've got to give him a chance again. And he just got to persevere. But who else is out there? For me, I would have gone for Graham Potter. I would have gone for Graham Potter. He's a young manager with great ideas, and he would have made Celtic great. I'm telling you, because we do like young managers at Celtic. But I tell you what, I mean, Graham Potter would have been fantastic, and he would have fancied the challenge. I'm telling you, he would have done.
Yeah.
So, go through a few more comments before we wrap up the show. Can't compete, Simon Jordan. Put it in perspective. Villa, 100-odd mil. Hibs, 3 mil. It's like good to compete in the Premier League. How would they fit? Exactly. Totally agree. Wow. And one more for tonight. I want the hot weather. Sevilla or Portugal trip would be nice. And Jackie's going to close the show for us. Does anyone think ASM would have been an impact sub yesterday? And VBD rant and consequences found mouth abuse against ref. More than a one-game ban. Thoughts? Yes, he will get more for a one-game ban. Jackie, that's ASM. Like I said earlier on with you, he's gone. Yes, could have done him, but he's gone now. And he's moved on, we moved on, and you know what? At the end of the day, we've got to do what we got to do. So we've got Harvey Bonds, Anthony Gordon, and Miggy. So, yeah, I see exactly what you mean. And Alan, great banter. Thank you, Alan, as well. Guys, going to wrap up the show, and thank you so much for coming on again. And Doug, did you enjoy it tonight, mate?
Yeah, no, it's been an absolute pleasure, and obviously thanks to everyone over on my channel, because obviously we are sort of dual streaming. Thanks to everyone on my channel who's obviously tuned in this evening. If you haven't already, please do remember to hit that like button, obviously on both streams, and do subscribe to John, because he is a very, very good guy and a very good friend of mine, and a very, very good YouTuber as well. His channel's growing really, really nicely. But no, thank you very much for the invite, and I do apologise for not being there on Thursday, obviously due to on circumstances, but no, thanks to everyone in the chat, and thanks for the very, very nice wishes as well. So Elevator, the Europa League draw is Friday, 12 o'clock on Friday.
Fantastic. Do go on to Doug's channel as well, which is the Doug Out Football channel, and I should put the links in as well, but that's the Doug Out Football channel. And what I'll do when I go in next time, I'm going to add that in as well. And do subscribe to the channel. It's fantastic. And Paul, where can we find you, mate? I know you're on Twitter, right?
Yeah, I'm getting lots of abuse on my phone here. I think I got my, when I was talking about Miggy, I got the feet wrong, but there you go. I misspoke. I was up till 4 o'clock this morning yesterday from getting back from Wembley. So I apologise if I got the wrong foot there. I'll get
okay. It's okay.
Lucky for me, Lucky for me. Thanks for that Newcastle banter. They're probably going to put my stupid face all over that and claim that I meant it all. There you go. Never mind. I can take a joke.
Exactly.
But yeah, one last thing. One last thing to football fans. Very quick. I think it's an easy point to any fans really. Don't go to games to fight. Stupid, pointless. We're here for fans. Have banter, no problem with that. But people are going to games to fight and get people in danger. Stupid. Don't do it. It's absolutely ridiculous. Any more controversial opinions come to me at Blank Canvas PC. Had some Man United fan tell me off for us capitulating. I kind of reminded him about the 7-0 at Liverpool that he didn't like. But there you go.
Hey.
Thank you.
He was like, "Oh, you folded like a tent or something." I was like, "Yeah, as if you never folded against Liverpool."
Yeah, exactly. Brilliant. All my shows at 9 o'clock this week, and I've got back on tomorrow night, which we've got Tuesday Night Pint, which is a new Tuesday Night Pint with the Irish tune. and join us for that. 3 guys from Ireland as well coming to that. On Wednesday, it's an early match preview against Brighton. Thursday's Champions League reaction as well. And do check us out for that as well, guys. And adverts out on YouTube as well. So go and check out that one, please. And guys, do you like the video, like what you watch? Like, subscribe. And as always, enjoy your evening, guys. And I'll speak to you tomorrow. Are we live?